So, good evening, one and all. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Lawrence Fernandez. I am the Vice President of the Bombay Catholic Sabha. This webinar has been hosted by the Training and Youth Affairs Forum. Webinar on government scholarships for minorities. It will be presented by our two resource persons, that is David Varun and Gladwin Lewis. It is now time to invite President of the Bombay Catholic Sabha, Sri Advocate Rafael D'Souza, to do the welcome address.
Lawrence, Sabha Anthem.
Thank you, Alvin. Now I request Advocate Rafael to please give us the welcome address.
Mr. Lawrence Fernandez, our Vice President in charge of the Forum, Training and Youth Affairs, the Principal Office Bearers of the Bombay Catholic Sabha, the Executive Committee members, the Office Bearers of All India Catholic Union who are present here, and all the participants with the two VIPs today, Gladwin Lewis and David Varun. We just heard our Sabha anthem, wherein we have said, politics and health, education is our wealth. In the Sabha, we'll shape the dreams. Today, the Training and Youth Forum of the Bombay Catholic Sabha has brought to you this very important webinar on the Ministry of Minority Affairs Scholarship of the Government of India. The Minority Affairs scholarships are available to the 6 minority religious communities. And while in the past we have made our attempts to reach out these scholarships to our community, let me tell you that as against a sum of 4,700 crores of rupees which the Government of India has set aside under this scholarship program, the actual disbursement has been only 33%. That is as per the data available till November 2019. The scholarship for the year 2020 have been announced, and the Bombay Catholic Sabha under the Training and Youth Forum took the lead that we need to do something for our youth, because youth are the future of this country. And I'm very glad that this attempt is shown success, so as to say, I see 94 participants present for this webinar, and out of that, to my count, 12 of us are the executive committee members of the Bombay Catholic Sabha, and the rest are participants. We had invited the participants from all across. As an affiliate of All India Catholic Union, this invitation was sent because we wanted more and more people to know about these scholarships and take advantage of it. Today we have our in-house trainers. I'm very glad and happy that David Varun, who has been looking after these scholarship, and Gladwin over the years, who has spent his time and energy in studying and imparting knowledge. Both of them are here today to help us understand what are the technicalities that we need to overcome, so that we are in a position that our children get the scholarship, and the amount that is earmarked is not goes back to the government without spending. With this, I express my congratulations to the Training and Youth Affairs Forum for organizing seminar under the able leadership of Vice President Lawrence Fernandez, and wish all of you a very, very fruitful participation from the 2 faculty members that we have. Welcome once again to one and all.
Thank you, Advocate Rafael, for your encouraging words. So going further, I can see that among the participants, we have many of our senior unit chairpersons and senior unit office bearers. It would be wonderful if you are able to understand the entire way this scholarship schemes are working, and then at your unit level, maybe educate or support the students by having your own internal meetings and guiding them to ensure that the registrations happen. So please be very interactive in these sessions. You have your doubts, please feel free to speak with our resource persons. It would be wonderful if you go back and apply all these. Yeah, with that, I would now request Adrian Rosario, who is my colleague. By the way, even Gladwin as well as David Varun are part of the training and the youth affairs forum, and we have all put this together. And now I invite Adrian Rosario to please introduce our two resource persons. Over to Adrian.
Thank you.
You
It's
are
my
on
pleasure
mute.
to
Yeah, thank you.
still check. Okay, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. David Varun of the BCS unit of Our Lady of Lourdes, Orlem, one of our interesting and very committed executive committee members over the years. David Varun has put in a lot of time, energy, effort in ensuring that as many people are covered to explain to them what these minority scholarships are about. He's got a lot of information that he would like to share, and I'm hoping that as we begin, you are having some paper and pen nearby, or at least you have good memories, because you know there's so much there, and it's important that you get the most out of it. Our other speaker today, I will introduce as we come along to Gladwin, but all the best to both of you. We are all waiting. I've kept paper and pen ready to make notes. So all the best to both of you. David Varun, your turn first.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I am Mr. David Varun from Our Lady of Lourdes Church, Orlam Malad. I am the chairperson of the Bombay Catholics Orlam unit. It's a 14 years almost into minority scholarships in Mumbai. I have been working for this with all minority communities like Jain, Sikh, Buddhist, Muslims, and Christians. I conducted a lot of awareness programs in Gurudwaras, Jain Mandir, Masjid, and churches. I have worked outside Maharashtra also. Today, many are applying for this scheme. I have seen most of our Catholics do not take the advantage. Just you can see how Muslims encourage their people. Last year, under central government scheme of total scholarship offered under 20 central government schemes in 1819, 80% went to Muslim, followed by 7.5% to Christians, 5% to Sikh, and 4.7% to Hindus. See the difference between Muslims and we Christians. Among the students, we received scholarship. 88 lakhs were Muslims, 8 lakhs 26,000 Christians, 5 lakhs 45,000 Sikhs, 5 lakhs 20,000 Hindus. Here we need to work together. Minority scholarship is made available by state government and central government. There are 3 types of categories. One is pre-matric, that is first standard to 10th standard for school going. Post-matric from 11th standard up to PhD. Merit comes means these are all for professional courses like engineers, teachers, actors, always, etc. Only for the merit come means scheme, there is an advantage. State government has kept slab for the family total income right up to 8 lakhs per annum. while central government, the family income for this scheme is 2.5 lakhs per annum. Pre-matric, the family income per annum is below 1 lakh. Post-matric family income per annum below 2 lakhs. Eligibility for both schemes. You need to belong to minority group, that is Muslim, Christian, Jain, Buddhist, Parsi or Sikh. Result of the previous final exam must be minimum marks 50%. 30% of this revealed for girls. You need to open a zero balance account in any nationalized bank below 18 years of age, a joint account. Aadhaar card compulsory. Indian nationality bona fide certificate from the school. Domicile certificate of state. Address proof. One person can apply only for one scheme. If apply for more than one, both will be rejected. Self-attestation for religion and income is enough. If application is for merit cum means scheme domicile certificate and income proof is compulsory. If you are applying for a renewal, you need only last year's mark list. All these papers should be self-attested and uploaded to the site. Lowest income students are preferred and will benefit from this. This preference is not on your result merit. Merit cum means scheme, that is professional courses, you receive around 25,000 to 30,000. This include hostel fees. Post-matric around 10,000. Pre-matric, that is school children, around 1,000. If student is an school or college staying in hostel, will receive 500 to 600 per month. I am displaying two websites names along with closing date. NSP, which is National Scholarship Portal, last date is 31st October. This government, central government. And the second is Maharashtra State, which is a www.mahadbit.gov.in. Last date 29th February 2021. Vocational empowerment scheme are also available only for government approved institutions. Diploma courses like electrician, mechanics, etc. will receive around 4,000 rupees, whichever the lowest.
I'm going to invite our next speaker, Gladwin Lewis from the parish of St. Pius X, Mulund, also a very experienced person in the line of helping people fill up the scholarships and to claim the minority scholarships. Gladwin has been in this line for over a decade now. Over to you, Gladwin. All the best to you.
Thank you so much, Adrian. Good evening, one and all. Namaskar, सभी को. Thank you, first of all, Lawrence, for giving me the opportunity to present at this forum. Thank you, Advocate Rafael, President of BCS, for giving this opportunity to me. I will try to speak in English. किसी को हिंदी में अनुवाद चाहिए तो मेरे को कृपा करके बता दीजिएगा बीच में, तो मैं हिंदी में भी अनुवाद कर सकता हूँ. और कोणाला मराठीमध्ये सुद्धा पाहिजे असेल तर मी मराठीत सुद्धा बोलू शकतो. कोणाला काही क्लॅरिटी पाहिजे असेल तर तिन्ही भाषा इंग्लिश, हिंदी, मराठी तिघांमध्ये मी सक्षम आहे, तर मला सांगू शकतात आपण. आता मी प्रेझेंटेशन शेअर करतो. नाव आय विल बी शेअरिंग द प्रेझेंटेशन. आय हॅव थँक्स टू मिस्टर I think someone's audio is, I'm getting an echo. Thanks to Mr. David Varun, he has showed the steps via video. I will try and show the things via a presentation. So I hope it is useful to all the members. I request everyone to go through first the content, and then afterwards we will see how we can take the questions. Okay. I'm just sharing my screen. So my name is Gladwin Lewis, as Adrian introduced. I'm from St. Pius X Milan. Directly going to the scholarship schemes, we have three types of scholarships, mainly pre-metric, post-metric, and merit cum means. Pre-metric is standard 1 to 10. Post-metric is 10th to PhD level, 11th to PhD level, and merit cum means are the courses which is from engineering, medicine, or other fields, CA, chartered accounting, the professional courses. Now, what is very important for each one of you to remember is the closing date. For all the three schemes, fresh or renewal, the closing date is 31st October, that is this month, 2020. Now, there are two things written out here, which I just want to clarify, which is written as verification and institute verification, defective. Now, what is defective verification? Defective verification is nothing but the form which is incorrectly filled, and when you give to the college and return, the college returns back to you. So you get that 15-minute window, but don't use that window. Try to see that everything is cleared with your college by 15 November. And the process for institutes to verify your form is 15 days after you fill, which is 15 November. So I'll tell you when these two steps will come into play. ठीक है, तो 2 तारीख याद रखना है. एक है आपका फॉर्म भरने का डेट जो है 31 अक्टूबर, और दूसरा है जो आपका स्कूल कॉलेज का लास्ट डेट है जो है 15 नवंबर. I just want to know कि आप लोगों ने सोचा रहेगा कि कितना पैसा इन्वॉल्व है इसमें. तो आप लोगों को पता रहना चाहिए कि ऑल इंडिया में कम 106 लाख एप्लीकेशंस गए साल, 106 crores MSc, and 84 lakhs were approved with an amount of 2211. This is the amount which was dispersed. For pre-metric, there was 89 lakhs applicants, verified was 71, and 1424 was approved. Post-metric, there was 15 lakhs applicants, 11 verified, and so and so, and merit cum means. Just see the comparison with the state of Maharashtra that where we are living in. So we have submitted only 12 lakhs forms as compared to 1.06 crores, and we were approved only 10 lakhs, and this is the amount which was dispersed last year, which is 157 crores. So just to get mota कि क्या कितना amount involved है, and as already explained कि ज़्यादा एफर्ट नहीं लगता है एक फॉर्म फिल करने में. एक फॉर्म फिल करने में कम से कम सिर्फ 30 मिनट का टाइम लगता है विद गुड इंटरनेट कनेक्शन. और जब आपके डॉक्यूमेंट्स सारे के सारे क्लियर हो, यू शुड हैव ऑल योर डॉक्यूमेंट्स व्हिच इज क्लियर्ड, एंड यू हैव टू बी एबल टू वर्क ऑन इट इमीडिएटली. नाउ व्हाट इज द स्कॉलरशिप स्कीम? स्कॉलरशिप स्कीम इज 3 steps. One is to get yourself, first step is to get yourself registered. Step 2 is an online verification which is done by your institute. And third is the scholarship amount which gets credited directly into your student's account. Now, this is only the 3 steps. So in this, there are further different steps which are involved. I'll go to the next slide and tell you. So 3 step याद रखना है. पहला अपना काम करना है, फिर कॉलेज को अपना काम करने देना है, फिर अपने माइनॉरिटी मिनिस्ट्री अपना काम करेंगे कि वो पैसा आपके अकाउंट में डायरेक्टली ट्रांसफर करेंगे. Now this is the flow जो होता है NSP का. स्टूडेंट पहला अपना एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म या रजिस्ट्रेशन करता है और एप्लीकेशन, दैट इज स्टेप 1। बाद में जो स्टेप 2 होता है वो है वेरिफिकेशन बाय द इंस्टीट्यूट, जो इंस्टीट्यूट या कॉलेज या लेवल करता है। ये जो मैं बोला था डिस्पर्समेंट बाय द मिनिस्ट्री, ये स्टेप 3 to 7 इज डन बाय द मिनिस्ट्री का के आदमी लोग करते हैं। दिस इज डन बाय दैट डिपार्टमेंट। मेनली देयर इज अ कॉन्टैक्ट इन द एजुकेशनल ऑफिस which takes care of viewing all the forms which are registered and verified by institute. Once that is done, it goes to a system which is finance management system, which creates a record for that student in their system. Please note, if you are applying for more than 2 scholarship, there will be duplication and that will be picked up in step 5 and it will be deleted and a merit list gets generated. Once that is done, the payment file is generated and finance approval. And lastly, scholarship disbursement happens through DBT. DBT is nothing but direct bank transfer. Now, direct bank transfer, सीधा student का account में आता है. Mainly, it is said that anyone pre-metric का it happens with the parents. For post-metric and merit का means, ideally we say that the student only should have an account. I'll come to it what should be the case. Now ये सारा step मैंने I have set 2 dates already. 31st October, 11 November. Step 1, 31st November. Step 2, 11 November. Step 3 to 7, this usually gets over by 31st March of the next financial year. So suppose if we are talking here, it will get over by 31st March 2021, by which this amount should be credited into your account. Now, what are the common features of this scholarship scheme? 30% of the scholarship is marked for girl child. You have to score at least 50% marks in your last exam, whatever is your exam which you have taken. उसका 50% आना ही चाहिए। एक परिवार में not more than 2 students can avail this scholarship. Means if there is only a family of 2 children, only that, more than that cannot avail. Which are the minority groups? We have our dear brothers from other minority groups, which is Jain, Buddhist, Sikh, Parsis, Muslim, and Christians. Now, as already mentioned, you cannot avail scholarship from more than one source. What does that mean? Since everything is tracked on an Aadhaar card number, so or your application form or your mobile number, it is very difficult in this age of digital India that you cannot you could apply in the central government scholarship as well as the state government. Either laga, that is not the way it works. You have to apply it only through one particular source. For whom it is applicable? The applicant should be pursuing the studies in the government in India. It is not for abroad. For abroad, I'll tell you later what is the scholarship, which is not a part of the scope of this talk, but I'll tell you after this session. And this course duration of which the student is doing should be minimum of 1 year. Now, what are the instructions related to the bank details? Students should select their bank details carefully. Please note, sometimes paisa barabar nahi jata hai student ko, even after bank being approved. I'll tell you the reasons. One is wrong IFSC code given. Second, your Aadhaar card is not linked to your bank account, due to which it is not linked. Your bank account has not been operational or it has been inactive due to amount not saved, minimum balance not kept in your account. तो या किसी ने यूज नहीं किया, every quarter यूज करना रहता है, so someone has not used that. So all these parameters are there. Even after your form getting approved, your money doesn't get dispersed to the student's bank. So we feel really bad that the form is approved, but paisa nahi milta because of all these parameters and you lose that money. So I request all to please do all these details, link your bank to your and your other account and see all these details are filled correctly so that even if we fill the form correctly, you get the money in your account. That is what I was saying. Know your customer. KYC has to be updated with your bank. It has to be operational and active till the IFSC code should be given as same, and bank account should ideally be in the student's or applicant name for post-metric and merit means. Why I'm saying it is always better because once you register in post-metric or merit means, they will all, post metric means 11 to आगे, मतलब उनको इतना साल पैसा then we have merit cum means, which is usually after 12th standard for the professional courses. So there also the student or applicant can be holding that account. Now, what are the requirements? I call it the nine commandments. So just remember these 9 commandments which are required. One is the student's photo. There is second thing which is required is bona fide student institution certificate, which is part of the form. ऐसा कुछ अलग सा form नहीं मिलता. It is part of this form. It is there. You have to get it certified from the institute. So when you go with your draft to your institute, you ensure that you fill in the details with that. Very, 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 very important. These 2 things. Christopher, can you just switch off your microphone? Christopher, I'm getting an echo. Third is domicile certificate, which is very important. I request everyone to please get it in once you finish your 10th standard, get your domicile certificate first only in the month of April, because these are the 2 certificates which are required by competent authorities. One is the domicile certificate and third is the income certificate. So usually the scholarships begin in the month of July or August. So whenever the students' exams get over in the month of March or April, I request them to please approach the Tehsildar's office and get these documents ready. It doesn't cost more at each one, I think not more than 100 rupees. But once you go later on in the month of June or July, that is when the prices keep on increasing. So I request you, once you all finish your exams, please get your domicile and income certificate. These are the only 2 certificates which have to be certified by a competent authority in the state government, that is a Tehsildar or above. 5th one is a community certificate. Community certificate is a self-declaration which is to be given. I can show you that document, one moment, how it looks. So this is like I show later on that certificate. I have all those documents. So I'll show you how the self-declaration document is to be given by a parent or other regarding that you belong to the community, say Jain, Sikh, Buddhist, Parsi, Muslim or Christian. So there's a self-declaration. No government certificate is required for the 5th part. Mark sheet is required of your last self-attested of your last exam, and in case of renewal of the previous year. Now, what is the fee receipt? Fee receipt is not of the previous year. Fee receipt is of the current course year. Now, that is academic year 2021, for which you would require your course fees to be given. The student bank account should be there. And lastly, the Aadhaar card. So these are the 9 things which you need to keep handy when you're sitting to fill a form for the minority scholarships. Hope it is clear. If I'm going fast, please do let me know. अगर मैं fast जा रहा हूँ तो कृपया करके मेरे को बता दीजिएगा. So this is the scholarship summary. The 3 types of scholarship summary is this way. We mentioned about the 3 scholarships. We said about what are the classes. Eligibility criteria, national level, central government, which is under Sri Dakhtri Sahab, which is family income less than 1 lakh is for pre-metric. Post-metric is income less than 2 lakh rupees, and merit cum means is family income less than 2.5. Now, many people who have joined this call, I just want to say there are 2 things. You might feel that I have come, but this particular scholarship is mainly for the economically weaker sections in the minority groups. It is not for incomes above 2.5 lakhs. So please understand the scope of this webinar, that people who are economically weaker sections. Now, how do we identify economically weaker sections? Not everyone's, we know if there are around 1.02 crores forms going, applications going, means there are quite a lot of people under this category. I would like each one of you from Bombay Catholic Sabha to please collaborate with the SCP teams in your respective parishes. Each one of you all have around 50 adopted families in your parishes. You will surely get students whose family income is less than this. please work in collaboration with them and to identify who are the people who are in this family income bracket and work towards filling this form. I feel if each member even fills one form, 5 forms, I think 25 people from one parish should help to do this job. Now, at the end, everyone keeps asking, कितना मिलेगा? That is the first question. मैं फॉर्म इतना मेहनत कर रहा हूँ, मेरे को कितना मिलेगा? That is everyone's thing. It is like Maruti, कितना mileage देगी? कितना चलेगी? That way, pre-metric maximum 10,000 rupees. For a day scholar is nothing but who's not staying in hostel. 1st to 5th you get 1,000 and 6th to 10th you get 5,000. For a hosteler you get 10,000 rupees. That is the breakup which you have. This is for pre-metric. For post-metric, you'll get up to 15,000 rupees. Now, how you get 15,000? Many people ask me, Gladwin, 15,000 नहीं मिला. बोला 15,000 भाई सबको नहीं मिलता. I tell them there is different categories. There is regular category of 11th and 12th, which you get. See, admission fee is on actuals. Please understand this word. This is on actuals. This is constant, which you will get irrespective of which class you are. So 11th and 12th, this is maintenance fee is constant. The tuition fee and admission fees is what you input out there. So regular, you get this amount. If you are in 11th and 12th, any technical or vocational courses, you get 12,300. And for post-graduation, you get 6,000 and your PhD, you'll get 8,500. Since if you're a hostel, you get a little more amount. So that's how the value scales up to 15,000 rupees. Now, many people come to and ask me, Gladwin, Mr. Anthony Chettiar also does, my good friend, does 11th and 12th scholarship. I said, see, yes, he does it for the girl child. So if you're getting more money for a girl child for 11th and 12th through Mr. Anthony Chettiar's scheme, for girl child, his scheme is only for the girl child, 11th and 12th. So if you're getting more money out there, I would request you to get in touch with him so that for the girl child, he can get you more money as compared to this, if you feel that is the comparison. So I do not want you to lose wherever you are getting more, because there are different schemes from the minority affairs, wherever you're getting more to get avail of the same. So many people, this confusion also tells me that they are confused what is the different types of scholarships. See, because everyone mixes, they use names like Maulana Azad, yes, the respected leader. Maulana Azad Forum is for the finance committee, that is to disperse out loans. There is no scholarships or anything related to that. Please understand that. So Maulana Azad Scholarships Forum, or there is a financial committee which provide loans and other things, and that is a different set of scholarships altogether under minority affairs. This is under the central government, which is called pre-metric, post-metric, and merit companies. And the third, which Mr. Anthony Chettiar does, is only for girl child, that is standard 11th and 12th. So please get this picture clear, because I hear every time many people telling different scholarship, and then they approach and they get confused, which exactly should I go? So these, let me clarify what are the different scholarships. Okay. Then I'm coming to merit cum means. Here you get सबसे ज़्यादा मिलेगा 30,000 रुपये, सर्वात जास्त पैसे भेटणार 30,000 रुपये, पण कमीत कमी 25,000 भेटणार. ते कसं काय 25,000? Course fees. Suppose anyone is doing engineering, I know the fees is more than 1 lakh, but you're getting maximum 20,000 back, and you get an allowance of 5,000. So you get 25,000. If he's an hosteler and working somewhere, so he gets 30,000 rupees. That is the maximum amount which you can get. निर्मला जी जरा म्यूट कीजिए ना, आपका माइक ऑन है निर्मला जी. हाँ जी, थैंक यू. So this is the applications. I will just come to the other things, forum of how to go step by step. Just give me a moment. I'll just open the files. This is not the end of the presentation. I'll just come. So please remember, this is the website which you need to go through, which is scholarships, www.scholarships.gov.in. And for fresh and renewal, the last date is 31st October 2020. Now let me come to the flow. of the things. Okay, thanks. So this is the process which. This is before you sit for the registration process. There are many documents on this, but I have just cut it short in 18 slides. So what you need to do is educational documents, your student bank account, your pre-matric where your parents can share their details, and Aadhaar card of the student. These are the documents which you need to keep handy, and the others which I had said at the beginning. For new user, first thing is you click on new user registration, which is out here. Or existing user, you can go to the screen which says existing user is the login out here. Okay. Fresh registration, the form will look like this, which has all the details which you need to fill, which is domicile, scholarship category, state in school, scheme type, date of birth, gender, mobile number, email ID, and IFSC code and all. So please remember one thing. I just wanted to tell you all, when you're filling the application form, you should have general guidelines. Okay, the general guidelines are not something which is kept far away. What you need to do in the general guidelines for registration, you need to keep handy is the date of birth, the domicile certificate, the scholarship category, the name of the student, how it is appearing in the mark sheet or Aadhaar card, because उसमें change होगा तो आपको पैसा नहीं मिलेगा. नाम जैसा mark sheet या Aadhaar card में है वैसे ही होना चाहिए. It cannot be different from that. Your mobile number cannot keep changing. This is what we face problem since I have been doing this since 2012. So I know many of the youngsters, when they are in college 11th and 12th, they have a different number. When they are in 11th and 12th, they have a different number. And then when they go to college, they have a different number. Please do not do that, because your scholarship is registered on that particular mobile number. Any passwords, any OTPs will come to that particular mobile number. So please ensure that what your mobile number you're giving is kept constant during the entire scholarship period. Your email ID also needs to be constant, because in case you're not possible to reach you on your mobile number, the backup is your email ID. It is not mandatory, but it is always better to give, because in case you're not able to fetch your details from your mobile number, the email ID is the option which you can give. Bank account details, this is the IFSC code. सभी को पता रहेगा कि IFSC code क्या होता है, उसका confirmation देना है. Bank account number, please give correct details of your bank and the bank name. This is very important data to give, because and identification detail in this drop down, you will get Aadhaar card option. That is the best thing to give as identification detail, because that will help to link all your transfers, because now today anything is Aadhaar based. Even ministry does the transfers or anything is based on the Aadhaar number. Once you do that and you enter the captcha, you get something called as enter register. That's once you click on the Nirmala ji, zara mic off कीजिएगा. Thank you. After filling the form, you click on register, you get a unique application number on your mobile. Okay, so that is your registration number and your password. Please remember that. जो भी आप ये सारा डिटेल जो मैंने बोला था, वो फिल करने के बाद आप जब रजिस्टर क्लिक करेंगे तो आपको मोबाइल का में एप्लीकेशन आईडी और पासवर्ड मिलेगा. वो यूनिक रहता है, वो जिंदगी भर आपके साथ रहेगा. वो यूनिक एप्लीकेशन नंबर, आई कॉल इट बिल्ला नंबर. बिल्ला नंबर एक बार जनरेट होगा तो वापस चेंज नहीं होता ना, तो बिल्ला नंबर हमेशा याद रखना चाहिए. दैट इज योर कॉमन, if you want for lifelong that scholarship, once it's registered, that number will be registered for life till you are availing scholarship from Government of India. This is what gets generated. You get a student application ID, which gets an SMS gets triggered to your mobile number. Then you click on continue. Okay. So once you click on continue, then you have to click on login to apply. So login to apply करने के बाद what will open up is एक डिटेल फॉर्म खुलेगा. ये मतलब एप्लीकेशन आईडी, पासवर्ड और कैप्चा. तो आपको जो फोन पे मिला है एप्लीकेशन आईडी, यू हैव टू पुट इन द पासवर्ड एंड कैप्चर एंड देन यू click login. In case you have forgotten your application ID, don't worry, you have an option of application ID, forgot application ID. If you have forgotten your password, there is an option of forgot password. So don't worry even if you have forgotten, but ideally do not forget these things and keep these data stored safely. I was mentioning once you enter those details, an OTP is sent so that no one else, it's a foolproof system by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, which sends this data from your NSP. It is a link. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology is a link between your NSP portal, which is your National Scholarship Portal, and NIC, which is National Informatics Center, which releases the payment. So understand this link. So they send this 5-digit OTP on your mobile. वो भेजने के बाद आप confirm OTP करेंगे तो आपका स्क्रीन ऐसा खुलेगा, जो है राहुल कुमार जी, ये जो आपके लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में है, दिस इज ऑल योर लाइक अ डैशबोर्ड, एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म, आपके रजिस्ट्रेशन, अकाउंट डिटेल्स. आपको कभी भी आपका एप्लीकेशन कौन सा स्टेज पे है, आपको चेक योर स्टेटस से पता चलेगा कि आपका एप्लीकेशन कौन सी स्टेज पे है. आपको सब होने के बाद जब इंस्टीट्यूट को देना होता है तो प्रिंट योर एप्लीकेशन यहां से चालू होता है. अगर आपको पासवर्ड जो पोर्टल ने दिया है अगर चेंज करना रहता है तो यू कैन चेंज योर पासवर्ड विथ बाय दिस ऑप्शन. सो नाउ नेक्स्ट थिंग फर्स्ट, please note these are all the various stages which I told you, the 7 steps. You remember when I told the 7 steps, that flow chart? So once you keep on completing one step at a time, the red becomes a green tick mark. Please understand that. So first it checks if there is a duplication, no. Then afterwards, once you input the data, it gives you this. Once you say apply, that gets tick mark. Once college clears it, you will see another tick mark. So all the stages, when there are all greens, that is when your amount will get dispersed to your account. Okay, now I'm going to this thing which says application form. Application form is divided into 3 parts, mainly registration details, academic details and basic details. ये 3 ही criteria रहता है. Registration details में जो आपने register किया first page, academic details जो आपने रखा है with you, which you have kept, that is your previous year mark sheet and your current year fee receipt. And basic details is basically a domicile certificate details which state you belong to and the income certificate. So these are all the fields which you will be filling when you are writing the form. So I do not want to go because already it has been done by Mr. David Varun through his video. Always select the option down which says save and continue. Do not submit till you are confident, because what happened is many people get logged onto the site. So you should always say save and continue. Okay. So please note that you are doing save and continue all the time. You get an option once you have filled in all the details, save as draft. So I would always recommend that you save as draft. You take a printout, show it to your college staff, see if everything, because you have to anyhow go for the bona fide certificate from the form. Take the bona fide form and the form and show it to your office staff. If he says everything is right, come back and then only click final submit. That is what I would say is the best practice. Now, very important thing, there is a red mark if you see out here. If these all scholarships which I mentioned is less than 50,000, so there is no need to upload any document. Please note, scholarships amount less than 50,000, you do not need to upload any document. Once you have done, you need to submit the documents in your school and colleges respectively. Okay. Then in case you want to update your account details, you can update your account details, not many times. That is by going on this option which says update account details. If you want to update your registration details, like you've changed your mobile number, don't do it. But I'm saying in case you do, government still give you one chance if you have done that. And do not forget to log out from the system. always, as I said, to know your current status, check your status online of your application form. See that you submit your form stage 1 before 31st October. Stage 2, follow up with your office staff of your college or school and see if they have approved it in the system before November 15th. After that, you leave it to the Department of Education and the Minority Affairs Department and all the back-end team, which will work along to ensure that it is approved by the nodal officer and then the amount is paid to you. You can also change the password from your existing password. And this is the option to print your application for the final submitted forms and the logout button. Now I will just come back to my slide. This is a standard format. You can make it and give it as a self-declaration. There is no government authority document required. This is how it is as per National Commission for Minority Acts 1992. This is how it works for the sample. This is a sample. Don't say that this is the hard and fast rule. You can make your own format and submit it to the college. Each college also has their respective forms. This is also a sample income certificate, which I am saying. Income certificate is also, but please note, this is given only by the Tehsildar in case of ours. So you have to go to the Tehsildar's office. We cannot issue a income certificate, or it is not as one which is self-attested. This is provision is only made at a Tehsildar's office. So whenever you go for your domicile, ensure that you make an income certificate. Many come to me, Gladwin, how do we do? I say, do it from April to March. You know what is a financial year? You do it April to March. So always you know what is your financial, what you have done in the previous year till March 31st. Anyone, so show your income accordingly what you have closed or as on 31st March. Okay, I'm just coming back to my presentation. I have gone through the guidelines, I've gone through this. I just wanted to share some things, how this thing started, okay? My personal experience before I close at 8:30, I'll just take 2 minutes and then we can take questions. I started this in 2012 from home, helping students for 2 years. Then in 2014, I felt of starting to help along with my BCS Mulund unit and the parish team, Father Ronald Tevar, by which I started. Now these students, which I started in 2014, are today self-employed and doing wonderfully in the corporate world. They are thanked me. So please, those who are not availing, also ensure that you help those people, because education is the only means by which you can help grow that family and that student so that their income increases in the years to come. This was in 2017 when under Father Cleophas had given me permission in my parish as a parish priest to have these sessions in my parish at St. Pius X Mulund. After that, the president, BCS president, Richard Issa, invited me to Mahim, and this was in August 2018, along with Bento Lobo, who was the Secretary General then. And we had this session out there very much in the Bombay Catholic Sabha office. We had Reverend Fathers and Reverend Sisters also attending. So I'm hopeful that they have implemented this in their respective schools and colleges also, so that each and every students have benefited from this particular aspect. These were the session very much in the Bombay Catholic Sabha office. I'm thankful to BCS office for having given that at St. Michael's Church, Mahim. We went one step further last year, wherein the parish priest of St. Michael's, Mahim, gave us the auditorium because the volume was increasing. And we got the auditorium. That was in 2nd August 2019, where we had this similar training session at St. Michael's Mahim auditorium. And then it was also blessed by the parish priest, that is Father Bernard Lancy Pinto, who helped with giving his closing remarks and the prayers for this particular initiative. So I request each one, because last year what we did has helped giving fruits, because I'll tell you, I cannot go to all the 125 parishes in the Archdiocese of Bombay. So this forum, thanks to Lawrence, Advocate Raphael, sir, and and the others executive committee members, that I'm able to speak to 100 and I'm not seeing the number, plus 100 people on this forum. So it is being taken to a larger audience through this particular domain. Only I need to tell you all, there are contact points in each parish. You need to know if there are people from that parishes. In Panvel, we have Mr. Daniel. In Vashi, we have Rose Dennis, Judith Lewis, Jesse and Dominic. Airoli, I have Augustine, who's helping out. Thane, I have Shirley and Sanjay Dige. Dombini, I have Celine. Goregaon, Xavier has joined in. Sanpada, I have Cynthia. And not to forget the two important people, I mentioned their name last, who helped a lot last year in shaping, was Mount Carmel's Bandra parish, that is Rita Almeida, the chairperson, and her team, for covering not only this, but the entire deanery of Bandra in registering all the things, and Santu Rodriguez from Sacred Heart Church, Burley, for catering to people in Dadar and South Bombay things. These two people I need to mention because they have really worked hard with me to get it rolled out in these two deaneries. I expect in the coming days, other than the names I mentioned, that more and more people will join in, so that we have been able to register students in every parish of Archdiocese of Bombay, and not only limiting to Christians, but also our brethren of other faith, that is the Sikh community, the Muslim community, the Jain community, the other communities. I'm telling why, because I feel even though the Jain community has joined in later on, but they are organized, they are through their Jain International Organization, they have been able to ensure that most and most students have been able to get scholarship. The Muslim community are also knowing, they go in bulk, they get the forms in bulk and get domicile certificates and income certificate. These are learnings which we learn from other communities, which we should learn, which I have learned over the last 9 years, that what are the right practices they are doing, which we need to inculcate, so that the people in our communities also benefit from this particular thing. Now, this is what I had to share. Before I'll take the question and answers, please note these contact numbers, because in case I'm not reachable, these are the contact numbers for a helpline. 1-800 is there of your Ministry of Minority Affairs. You got, for any technical problems on your form, which due to Aadhaar card number or my name was already registered, it needs to be withdrawn and deleted, call them up or send them an email, they will work. These are all sources from scholarships.government.in. Though some do contact me after every webinar or seminar which I have conducted over the 9 years. This is my contact number, and or else you can very well reach out to the Bombay Catholic Sabha office. This is thank you from my side for all the help given, and hope this input which I shared on today's forum is useful to each one of you. Thank you and God bless. Over to you, Lawrence.
Yeah, thank you, Gladwin. So the first question comes. I am requesting they can key in their questions in the chat box, which is at the bottom right hand side of your screen, and we will have the questions put up. Some of you may have want to speak. Is also possible. So first and foremost, Gladwin and David Varun, I request both of you all, if possible, to please share your numbers in the chat box, your name and numbers in the chat box. It could help some of our people who are very much part of this. The entire volunteers, I would like to thank, who have come and joined us. You all have done wonderfully last year also. And please keep doing the good work. So some of the questions, if Gladwin, you are ready, I can start. Gladwin and David, either of you all can speak. One is that one of the queries that is coming out is that mark sheets are not received from school. Okay, that is one query, and the related query is that there is only provisional mark sheet given this year. So how do we tackle this problem now?
Currently the office staff is working with the educational office, the person concerned out there. I wish all the office staff in the respective schools, they have told to work on the provisional certificate and work along. I think Rita Almeida from Mount Carmel's Parish has already done that. Rita, can you just share that input because she has already done it. I had just spoken to her on this particular.
Yeah. Yes, Rita, you can unmute. Please.
Yeah. You can hear me?
Yeah, welcome,
Hello?
Rita. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
We
you
can
so
hear.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have already completed with the process of the renewal. It is not very difficult because we were coordinating with the department, institute, with the school itself. So those people at the school, the administration people, they are very, very helpful, and they are very well aware that the mark sheets are not given. So we just have to add on the percentage of whichever exams they had, the previous exam, like unit test or semester, and then they will do the needful from their end, from the school end. So the
Okay.
process is not,
Right,
yeah,
right,
no need of
right.
uploading the mark sheets.
Mark
There's no
sheets.
need to upload. No need.
I have already
Okay.
mentioned there is no need to upload mark sheet, anything, because the scholarship, pre-metric, post-metric, merit cum means are all below 50,000. They are not above 50,000. So please note that thing. Only since I had mentioned I will be telling at the end of the program, I just thought I'll give this input. Where this scholarships would come into place. There is something called as top institute scholarship. There is 85 of the top institutes wherein if a person is coming belonging to the merit cum means category, their 85 institutes, the full fees is reimbursed. That is mainly the IIMs, the IITs, where the full fees is reimbursed. For the state of Maharashtra, the fees is reimbursed, full fees is reimbursed for IIT Powai, National Institute of Industrial Engineering, NITI, Powai, National Institute of Fashion Technology, Mumbai, and Visvaraya National Industrial Technology, Nagpur. These are the 4 institutes which are allowed for full reimbursement. So here the fees will be above 50,000, and that is when I think you need to upload the fee receipt and the concerned documents. And secondly, I had said, sorry, I'll just complete that before taking the next question. There are many who wanted to know, Gladwin sir, I have a higher income and I want to send child abroad. This many people keep asking me. So there is a scholarship which is called Padho Pardesh, wherein Government of India gives you scholarship not up to now. Everyone thinks that the amount is 20 lakhs. It is not 20 lakhs. On an amount of 20 lakhs principal, which is your scholarship amount, whatever interest is paid on that amount from any bank, that interest amount is paid by the Government of India to that particular student. For that, the salary of the family annual income is 6 lakhs rupees. Many students, when I started, this was launched only in 2014 or 15. I have been telling about this program whenever on my webinars, and people have been benefiting by that. So Padho Pardesh is that particular scholarship. Back to you, Lawrence. Sorry, I just thought I'd share on something which I missed out.
In continuation with this, is that we are aware that October is the last date. What happens for the 11th standard students who admissions have still not been confirmed, because of the stay? So what do you advise?
Hello. Generally, 31st is now mentioned. Always last year also is gone extended 1 more month.
Yes.
Generally, we may get extension.
Yeah, Lawrence, I agree with David Varun. What happens is this time due to the pandemic, we are starting late, so we do not expect the schools not starting even before Diwali. So probably I see this time not 1 month, but it going right up to 31st December. And this is what I assume it will go, because the state government is only deciding on whether to start the schools or not only after Diwali.
Second thing is anybody have more income. It means the Maharashtra government is giving more income group. It means up to 8 lakhs per annum. Family total income. Only central government is giving only 2.5 lakhs. 8 lakhs means you can apply, that is up to February is applicable. That minority
Okay.
scheme, these all things. Okay?
So what, David, what you are saying is that the minority scholarship for Maharashtra is
That
up
is
to February, and the income group can be up to
8 lakhs.
I think it is a wonderful news, and we should all avail of these. Okay, and
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
yes, thank you. So another query which came in is this word domicile. Okay, is it the domicile certificate? Is it necessary for local students who are applying?
No.
There is
Only,
no. Okay,
only,
cool.
Yeah, I'll talk. Only engineering and merit comes means only that people are eligible, then only this is domicile is coming, income proof you have to show. Baki all people no need of showing.
Okay.
Understand?
Yeah, thank you. Another question is there are some candidates here who weren't aware in the previous years that this scholarship existed, but now they are maybe in 13th or in 14th standard. Can also
No. Yeah, wait. Up to, see, one course is coming 2 years, 11 and 12, one course. It means a continuation forward. Now you join the 13th, it means a new application you have to apply. New registration.
Okay. So there will be first time applicants.
You have to apply new registration.
Fine.
Then you can go 3 term. It means 13, 14, 15. Then closing there. Then again higher study again go. Yeah. Like that.
Lauren, there are 3 categories. Now, what has happened is, if you understand, first to 10th, that will come, students who are there in that category will get one set of things. 11th and 12th is one category. Under post-metric only, there is something called as undergraduate, which is UG 11th and 12th, and PG, which is under postgraduate, that is first year BCom onwards till your PhD level. So these are the 2 categories under post-metric. So they have a different registration, and merit cum means also changes because after your PG, when you have applied in 11th and 12th, and then I apply for merit cum means engineering. That's one. Now many come with a question. Now your question is valid because many come to me कि सर लड़का या लड़की अभी फर्स्ट ईयर में है लेकिन 12वीं का उसने स्कॉलरशिप नहीं लिया. Many come to me. I said गया साल गया. You will not get something of your previous years. Whatever scholarship is there is for your current academic year. So whatever you're getting is 2021. It's very clear. Academic year 2021. You pay your fees in 12th standard, you get that. You pay your fees for engineering, you'll get that. You pay your fees for medicine, you get that. Whatever you pay for the current year, that is the amount which you're paying the money first, and then government is reimbursing it to you before the end of the financial year. That is how the logic works.
Okay, thank you, Gladwin. And now what I request is if among the participants there are any questions which they want to probably speak with our resource persons, they can unmute and they can give their names and they can ask the questions, since we have some more time now.
Yeah. Lawrence, can I ask?
We can do it for a couple of more questions.
Yeah.
Yes,
Can
please.
I also ask, then once everyone's questions are over, Meta or Santu, who have helped very much me in the last year of covering quite two big dictionaries about their experiences, because they have done quite a number of students in the last. So their experience can be helpful in sharing over the best practices across. Once the questions are over, they can share. Santu Rodriguez and Rita Almeida.
Yeah. So what I would say is, maybe Rita can, maybe speak. What you say is going to actually be guideline for people who are applying. So please, Rita can begin.
Actually, firstly, now I would like to thank Gladwin for all his help, whatever he had given to us last year. We attended this particular seminar on 30th of July 2019. And after this presentation, we conducted a familiarization and information session for around 100 needy families. At this session, we explained in detail all the requirements to apply for the scholarship and the process to obtain the two most important documents, that is income and domicile. Actually, we must help in preparing the income and domicile certificate first. Thereafter, the announcement in the church and cooperation with the parish SVP and personal visit to 5 schools in Bandra. We help the students to obtain the necessary documents by physically going with them and the parents to the Talati and Tasildar office in Santa Cruz and Andheri respectively. Since such an exercise had never been conducted earlier in our parish, we assisted the schools in also uploading the documents to the education department. We even helped the schools to complete the final online registration process. We repeated the entire process for maximum schools in Bandra. The scrutiny of all the applicant students' applications and could also not progress because they did not qualify in certain criteria or the other. Now, I take this opportunity to thank Gladwin for his ever ready guidance at every step of the way. And this was a totally new experience for all of us. And we would have not achieved what we did if it was not for Gladwin. Now, the institutes, what we covered is St. Joseph's Convent, Apostolic Carmel High School, Stanislaus High School, Mount Mary, Dr. Antonio De Silva, then Parle Tilak Vidyalaya Association, that is ML Dhanukar College, St. Andrews College, and St. Francis the SSC, and Agnel School of Law. We have covered all these schools. But we used to constantly call up Gladwin sir and we used to always ask his help. And even we have helped all the maximum schools how to upload the documents. So once you are ready with the domicile and income, then it is a cakewalk for us. That's all I would say.
Thank you. Thank you. Gladwin, you wanted another person to speak. I could not get
There
the
is,
name.
is Santu Rodriguez there? Santu Rodriguez from Secretariat, Burley.
Sir, I'm there over here.
Yeah. He's there. Yeah. Can you speak, Santu, please?
Actually, I attended this session last year only. So the greater help I got from Gladwin sir, very minor things was required. So basically, I have handled up Paris right now. So around 20 people I have covered up from Sacred Heart Church. Okay. Out of that, the main difficulty was domicile and income certificate, because last year the few students were from St. Andrews College. So the admin team had strictly told them to get two documents that is your domicile and your income certificate. Before, they were not asking that much into it. So for basically for school student, it was easily to get the money because the school already has the record at their hand. So this year I'm trying to cover more South Mumbai parishes, which will be a great thing for me to do it.
Yeah. Thank you, Santu. So one more question which is coming, Gladwin and David and the participants, is that what do you do if your institute is not registered? Okay. So someone is applying, and if the institute, can something be done now?
Yeah. Hello. I can talk? Hello.
Yes, David. Yes, David.
If it is not registered in school or college or institution, first we have to inform the minority affair department. That people take over, then we can't send any letter to minority department. The school have to send the code number, that people give it to the school. Then only the involvement will come in. Okay? If you any problem there, we have to go to DT office. Department of Technical Education.
Can I come in here? Yeah.
Yes, yes, Glenn.
See, now what is happening? There is a process document for how to include which we called it as institute. Institute is included by something called as AISHE code. Now, what is the AISHE code? Is All India Survey on Higher Education Code, which is given by Director of Technical Education. They are given a certain date to input particularly their code. Also, each of the courses in the college is given a code due to which they will be input. If the office staff of the college or school will be working with the person from the DTO office, that Director Technical, to add his or her college or school. We did face this challenge last year, and we added some of the colleges also. We added some of the schools. I remember for one particular person from Bakola Parish, I was speaking to the office staff of Rizvi College to get his code and hotel management course registered in the scholarship. So that is how I remember that it can be done even when the scholarship is on.
Yeah. So thanks for the clarification. And is there any since we have still 5 more minutes, is there anyone who wants to unmute himself and probably say a few, maybe one or two questions? Yes. Yes, Bento. Bento, yes.
Sir, my name is Joel.
Yes,
Sir,
Joel.
can you hear me? Okay,
Yes,
sir, I have a
Bento.
question. On the scholarship form which the fellow is demonstrating, there was one subheading which says date of school. Now, because of this lockdown, we don't know what date to put when the school commences. For that, what do we fill?
I didn't get your question. You said
Yeah,
date of commencement.
Rita got it. Can Rita answer that, please?
Yeah, actually, you have to write when your school has started. That same date you have to mention. Your school,
Fine.
that same date you have to mention, and then click on the final process. That is the only question they are asking for renewal. Nothing else.
Thank you, Rita. Yes, Bento, you can ask your question.
I would like to say some things very important here. Remember, if you require domicile certificate, or you have problem with income certificate, we have a executive member, Mary Ann, who has last year and year before last has always been helpful, and she has helped many people to get the income certificate. I feel you can get in touch with her, and at a comfort level, I think she will always be helpful to get the domicile certificate or income certificate for yourself. I think Lawrence, you can share Marianne's number, and she has done for many. I think you should thank him. And Gladwin, thank you very much. Actually, because of the last year, you sent the PPT, and we were able to send by email the PPT to all of them, and we got many good responses. Because of that, they were able to fill the forms by their own self. So thank you very much, Gladwin. And even David Varun, I remember very well, there were difficulties of opening the bank account because they asked for minimum balance. And he said, when you go to the bank, especially the nationalized bank, Bank of Maharashtra or whatever, Punjab Bank, you mentioned that it is a government scholarship. So they opened a zero balance account. And this was very helpful. I remember when we were doing it, and many of them found difficulty. And when it was mentioned over there, and they were able to open account zero balance. So thank you, David, very much for that input also. And thank you, Gladwin. And do get in touch, as I said, Lawrence, with Marianne. She will be helpful in getting the domicile of the income certificate. Thank you.
Yeah. So Bento, can you just key in our Bento? Hello? Can you key in a number, please? Can you just put a number in the chat box?
Yeah,
so Marianne Lopez will help people who are having difficulties. So Gladwin, one more question. Will you be sharing this presentation?
Yes, as I do last year, I share it every year since 2012, Lauren, because I want at the end of the day, every unit every parish 125. I have not yet finished but reached the number of 125 parishes. I'm still running and covering it. So probably one day when I'm finished, I'll say, okay, my presentation ends here. So till then, yes, I'll keep on sharing till it goes. Also, to add, I know Marianne from St. Michael's Mahim has been doing. Thanks, Marianne, for your wonderful job which you keep doing for domicile. And also, there are two other people also who have been going to income and domicile certificate. That is Rita and Santu as well. They also know the Tehsildar offices very well, and those officers also know them very well. So I know both of them taking applicants on their bike and going there and getting there. So I know that they have done it, and they have been speaking to me over the phone from the Tehsildar's office. So I know that this has happened last year. And the third person, and one more person. There is this one, Daniel from Panvel. He also takes a group of 25 to 30 people to the Tehsildar's office too at Panvel. BCS Panvel.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Gladwin. So the participants who want the presentation can actually text message me, and I will share it on WhatsApp. Okay. So I have shared my number in the beginning somewhere, and it's always there in the communication also. So you can write to me or just text me. I will share it with you. Gladwin, thank you for the same. Is there any other question? If there is no question, then may I please request? Yes.
I have a question.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. My name is Ernest, and a PPC meeting on this funding. I would like to get somebody involved in getting in Andheri a point of contact help from you all. So is there something that I can get?
So Gladwin, do we have any resource person?
My name is Ernest.
No, I don't have.
Okay, fine.
I don't have anyone from Andheri. I don't have anyone from Borivali. So those are the two details which I'm still waiting.
Can I intervene? Lawrence, I think Ernest, if he has a PPC meeting, virtual meeting, then perhaps Gladwin or David can help. But if it is a physical meeting, it will be difficult for them to come all the way and explain to the unit. Ernest,
I look forward to arrange one meeting like this, because I believe I am the only person who might be attending this. As far as I know, I don't identify anyone else. It's really a very informative, because in our Catholics, there are many people who are really poor, and this is a really very good platform that they can portray to help them out. I'm feeling it's a very great opportunity for me to help them while presenting this to the PPC team as such.
Very well. I think David wants to say.
Thank you. David wants to say something. David, yes.
Hello. This is a virtual meeting or other meeting?
No, we are having a physical meeting.
Physical meeting, you inform me the timing, everything, I'll come and talk.
No, it's a short notice. But I can look forward to arrange something. If I get David's number, then I can call him up and get this organized.
Yeah, I'll write down my number, 98.
98.
David has mentioned the number, yeah.
200.
73.
73.
483.
48.
Achha, when next Sunday or what is it?
This coming Sunday. That's the reason.
Achha, what is the timing? What is the timing?
It's at 11 o'clock.
Achha, please inform me little one day before, okay?
Yeah, I look forward for the next meeting, because I don't think it will be too early for them to inform.
No problem. No problem. Anytime you can call me.
Okay. So the scheme, as we are told that this scheme may get extension, so but keep working on it. Seeing, are there any other questions from any of the participants? If there are no questions, can I please request our ordinary councillor from Borivali, Mr. Norbert Mendonça, to please propose the vote of thanks.
Sir, can anyone hear me?
Yes, Joel, you have another question.
Yes. So, when it comes to the institution verifying your documents, what institution will you put? The institution where you pass 10 or the junior college you're in?
The junior college you are in. And you cannot apply.
Okay.
And I suppose that's why I said it is for that academic year. Suppose you're in Andrews, then you will be putting in that Andrews College, the office stuff. That is how it is. Go ahead.
First year. Yes.
First year.
Okay. Can we have Norbert do the vote of thanks?
Thank you, Lawrence. On behalf of the Training and Youth Affairs Forum, I thank the President, Advocate Rafael D'Souza, for his welcome address and for his support for the forum in organizing this and all the other training programs. I thank Vice President Lawrence Fernandez, who is the heading this forum and today's moderator. I thank Vice President Bento Lobo for being with us this evening. I thank the Treasurer for his logistics support for this webinar. I thank all the executive members who are attending this webinar. I thank Adrian Rosario from the Training and Youth Affairs Forum for introducing the speakers today. I thank the two speakers, Gladwin Lewis and David Varun, for their presentation and explanation regarding this scheme. I thank all the chairperson and members, and I request them to help the students in applying for this minority scholarship scheme. At last, I thank all the participants and the students, and I hope you all have understood the scheme. And if any problem you face, you can contact the speakers or your unit, BCS unit in your parish. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Gladwin and David, thank you very much. As always, you people are ready and willing to help the Sabha, and Lawrence for your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
good night.
So,
Thank you, Rafal sir.
Gladwin, thank you, David. Thank you, Rita Almeida. Thank you, Maria Lopez, for the wonderful work. And we look forward to your continued support. Yeah, thank you, participants, for coming in.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Joel. Yes, Joel.
I have a clarification.
Yes, Joel.
See,
Yes, Joel.
in this video, you talked about the various documents to be submitted for the scholarships. And then later on, there's a contradiction saying that the scholarship is not above 50K, so you don't need to submit documents. So now I'm confused.
As if you see on the portal, Joel, let me take that question. When you go on the portal itself, it is written there. When you go and you fill that form, it is written in red. Anything below 50,000, you do not need to submit. You can cross-verify with your institute office staff also, because everything depends between you and the office staff. Once it goes through your window of 31st October and the institute staff on 15 November, your application goes through. And since you are giving them a hard copy, I don't see there is any challenge in doing it.